Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton tells One America News documents show D.C. Park Police knew about security concerns ahead of the January 6th Capitol protest. Here's One America's John Hines.
Records you have examined seem to prove that regarding January 6th at the Capitol, at the day before, U.S. Park Police anticipated a, quote, large portion of the marchers to be at the Capitol on January 6th. And also, all these records also say the FBI was monitoring, quote, subjects of interest. Put this in perspective for us a little bit. What does it mean that police knew a mob would be at the Capitol on January 6th, essentially had some forewarning, and that they were monitoring certain people?
You know, the Park Police had warning the day before, and they understood what the rally was about. They expected a large portion of the rally, large portion of the groups that were in D.C. on January 6th to go to the Capitol. And what happened from then on is that there was little to no security up there, and agitators in the crowd took advantage of it, and it resulted in the violence that everyone is concerned about. And they had ample warning that the crowd size was going to be big.
Is this an instance of where was a communications breakdown, or is there something perhaps more deliberate that may have gone on here as far as we can tell?
That is something that's going to require further investigation, in the sense that, you know, who knew what and when about the security situation around the Capitol. You know, Nancy Pelosi, in my view, needs to be held accountable. She was running the complex, practically speaking.
And what does it mean to your reckoning when you read or hear or have been reading with these documents that you've seen that the FBI was supposedly monitoring certain persons of interest, either on January 6th or just before January 6th, as I think is indicated in these documents?
There's been other news reports that the FBI admits there was an informant. I saw other documents showing the D.C. police had an undercover enforcement in the area as well, an undercover employee, a UCE, as they called it. You know, how were they monitoring these individuals? Were they monitoring them because they were engaged in criminal activity, or monitoring because they were in contact with their informants, or were they monitoring because they didn't like their First Amendment protected speech? The question I have, John, is that the January 6th Select Committee asked the Park Police for this. This, to me, is an indictment of the committee, in the sense that Judicial Watch is doing the basic investigating into how January 6th happened the way it did, that this committee refuses to do because it's been corrupted and partisan. It's more interested in jailing their political opponents and folks associated with Trump than getting to the real truth about what went on.
Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, thank you for talking to us on One America News, sir. Thank you for your time. Good to catch up with you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Visit OANN.com for immediate access to all the clips you've been waiting to see.